all day.
Yeah, actually, those exist, and those are silly.
Do they?
Those do exist, and yes, they are rather silly.
Yeah, they do exist.
Let's see. Oh, what else? Okay, you wanted to also talk about. I don't know if you said, I think you could state the facts and hit us with the truth with a little less judgment.
Okay,
Is this me or Andrew?
This is you. Actually, this is both of you.
Okay, give us an example.
Okay, no, I think you guys have a strong footing in the truth of a lot of things. But I think, again, and I hate to sound like a broken record, it comes very back to like focusing on your own experience. And nobody ever like changes from just being like hated on and judged on. And like I think usually when people are not living in the truth, they're like very broken and need more love than anything. So I think just like, no offense, being like a dick about it isn't really gonna help anyone or like bring our worlds closer to a place that's gonna be more full of that truth and understanding.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ.
Have you ever been in a place where somebody's been...
My content is really abrasive and insensitive on my own platforms, and I do more offending women than... I do as much, if not more, than what Andrew does talking on his podcast when I'm on my own platform, because I'm brutally honest like that. But the number one thing that I get is women telling me that I basically help them change their life. I help them see reality, especially like with my clients. In my opinion, the brutal, honest truth is bittersweet in the way that it serves. Yes, it may come off in a way to where you don't want to hear it or where you can't accept it, but eventually when you start to realize that there was truth in what we were saying, then you'll be like, yeah, I understand. You'll focus less on the way it was delivered and more on the fact that it was actually the reality of the situation.
But more times than not, truth without love just delivers information in a way where people cannot hear it. Maybe later, okay, maybe later. But then also, I do fully believe that love without truth is just enabling and, bullshit, and it isn't love at all.
Give us an example of like one of the topics that I've talked on or said that you think, like a truth that I've said that comes with judgment.
Well, even like just the easiest, closest one I can think of is women getting work done. Like,
what about it?
Like, there's gonna do no good just coming for them and being like, yeah, I can't remember what you said, but
I actually don't even think I'm that abrasive about it, to be honest.
Okay, honestly, I can't think of an example right now. But I know, like, it's consistent.
What is?
Just like roasting people because they don't have the same views as you instead of trying to like understand their life experience.
Understand what life experience?
Which like makes sense for this show, but I do think that outside of it, it just isn't very helpful to...
I don't think I really attack the whole plastic surgery makeup thing. I pretty much am just stating my view on it. I'm against it. How else am I supposed to deliver?
No, actually, do you know what that was?
I'm not like,
poor example.
I'm not
that
like
was
you're a piece of if you can get plastic surgery, you mentally ill, like I'm never attacking anybody like that. I do think that people who tend to get plastic surgery, I think it can be proxy for mental illness, but and in terms of what I find attractive, it's interesting though, wouldn't it be more empowering for me to tell women, I think you're more attractive without the need to undergo a dangerous and unnecessary cosmetic surgery that can cost thousands of dollars. It can put your life at risk. Frankly, you look worse after having done it.
No.
I don't think fake titties look good. I don't think BBL looks good. It gives me uncanny valley. I think lip filler, you look like a duck. You look terrible after you get lip filler.
No.
Give me a small upper lip over whatever the fuck you got going on.
Okay, that was a poor example. That is actually so valid. Anything you just said there, I'm like, go off. But
Go off, King.
Go off. But
Okay, what else? Body count? Promiscuity?
actually, yeah, I do think that there's just some things that make you kind of come across as like a full across the board woman hater.
Okay. Like what? What have I said? What have I said?
Okay,
Comes across as a woman hater.
the fact that you
Put
do
some cocktails in here or something.
you do care so much
Espresso
about
martini.
body count, but it is only
If a
like
woman cared,
one-sided.
if a woman cared about a man's body count, would that make her a man hater?
no. I don't. I think men and women both should,
Okay, so how does me caring about body count make me a woman
because you don't
hater?
care about your
When-
body count by the
When,
sounds
did I,
of
when
things.
have I ever said that? But
You don't
that
want a
makes
woman
me a
that wants to
promiscuity
wait.
hater. It makes me a promiscuity hater.
No, because that's just one example. But
It makes me
okay,
hold
yeah,
on, hold on.
yeah,
It
yeah.
makes me a promiscuity hater.
That's
Doesn't
fair.
make me a woman hater.
But are you a promiscuity hater? Because
Yes.
you also say that you do not want to wait till marriage.
Well, yeah, I'm not waiting till marriage to have sex.
But then, so then you're gonna sleep with
Hold on.
different
Do you
women.
realize there's a difference of being desirous of a monogamous long-term relationship where you have sex before marriage and perhaps relatively early on in the relationship, and a guy who's like fucking 3 new girls a week? You realize
Yeah,
there's a little
100%.
difference there when it comes to promiscuity.
100%.
Now, perhaps a deeply devout religious person looks at me and says, well, Brian, you're not waiting till marriage, ergo, you're promiscuous. But in terms of like sort of the current dating landscape, I would argue that my approach, which is I'm not interested in just fucking a girl once. If I have sex with a girl, I want there to be continuity. I want to continue seeing her. She would have to do some atrocious shit for me to sleep with the girl and to never see her again.
Can I ask something?
That's
ahead.
honestly fair.
If you were to like go on a date with a woman and you asked for her body count,
Yeah.
would you also give her your body count if she asked?
Would I reveal it to her?
Yeah.
Privately, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She wanted it. Most women don't care though. So
She
about
might
body count.
She might care.
Some women do care. Most
Yeah.
don't. Women care far less than men do on this topic.
I'd have
And
to
I-
agree.
and
I
I-
would agree with that. Yeah.
And can I chime in?
Yeah.
The fact that you said it appears that he's a woman hater, because as I said, I'm extremely offensive on my own page as well. So I get that from time to time. But I think it's more important to understand the context in which these conversations are had. A lot of times men are addressing things because women think it's unfair to them. But as men, we don't really talk about necessarily what's unfair to us. So like body count, for example, we have different attraction triggers. Women don't necessarily care as much about body count, even though in discourse we'll say like, oh, is your body count the same as hers? Your body count should matter too. But when you actually look at our behaviors, women aren't concerned with how many men or how many women the man she likes has slept with, whereas a man is more inclined to be concerned about that because it means different things. Like a guy feels different when he has the town whore on his arm. He doesn't want the town whore on his arm. A woman is not worried about the fact that the guy slept with multiple women, because if anything, she's more concerned about, is she just going to be another one? Is she's going to be a one in his rotation who means nothing to him, and he's just going to screw her and leave like he may have did to other women? It means different things. And anytime we have a conversation about dating and attraction, it's imperative to understand that we are biologically different. We're built biologically differently. Our brains operate differently. So what you find attractive is not necessarily going to be what I find attractive. I'm not as concerned with a woman making money or having resources or status, but a woman is concerned about with me making money, having resources and status. I don't say, well, do you have the money that you want out of me? I don't say that, because I understand that a woman is built different and she's evolved that way. It's for a reason. So I don't pressure women about things that they may find more desirable in a man that I may not be able to offer. It's not the same dynamic. We're different. So a lot of these conversations we have is we operate as if we're the same, as if men and women are the same, and we should value and be attracted to the same things innately in each other, when we don't. We're complementary. We have differences.
Yeah, but I feel like in terms of sex, that's like a stretch.
I think fundamentally, like men and women, we totally value different things.
Yeah.
I think in a perfect world, neither the man or the woman should be promiscuous per se, but I think it's far more damaging for a woman to be promiscuous than it is for a man. And I think
Of course.
a man is going to care more about that because how would I put it? It's kind of like you're his prize, right? And he doesn't want to know that like everybody hit it.
Exactly.
So is the man
Yeah,
not
but-
your prize? Are you saying that the man isn't your prize? Like you don't look at your man like he's your prize?
Not necessarily. I wouldn't frame it that way. I would say like not necessarily that he's my prize, but like I'm happy to be with him. I think it's just seeing it as in a different lens. Like a guy will kind of like, he wants to know that you're the woman that every man wants but can't have.
That's weird though. That's weird, selfish. That's ego.
Yeah, but
that's the
from,
reality.
that's from, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But
but
that's
that's
how
from a
guy-
moral perspective.
Yeah.
And in actuality, sometimes you have to put morality aside and understand why things happen.
But-
so in this sense, we're trying to understand. We're trying to make sense of why this stuff actually happens, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's mean, rude, unfair.
That's fair, but that is a fact. That is why a man would operate that way, is that he's, again, only thinking about himself.
We're all selfish.
Well, isn't there also
Yeah,
science
that's the human
behind-
condition.
Yes,
You're
Yeah,
right.
and-
pair
yeah.
bonding, right?
Yes, it
Yes,
is. All of this
yes.
stuff is substantiated by
So
science.
man or woman.
So yes.
Man or woman. That's where I'm saying I don't think with sex is a stretch, because regardless, it's pair bonding. But that was one example.
The sex. Well, what do you mean by the sex being an example? Could you elucidate on that a little bit? What do you mean by
the body count? It started with body count, and that was
Okay.
just one example where I'm like, well, it's kind of giving woman hater.
But how does
But
that?
no, actually, I did receive clarification in Brian
Okay.
saying that he is not promiscuous, and wasn't trying to imply that if you're not waiting till marriage, it means you're a sloot. But knowing that Brian does hold the same values for himself that he holds to other women, I will.
But okay,
Eat my
so
words.
I mean.